Hi, I'm Shauna Madsen with Madsen Avenue, and welcome to my home office studio. I have a message for small businesses to support small businesses because there's a lot of rumbling out there. And I had a heart-to-heart talk with a friend, colleague, and client yesterday, and she provides a much-needed service to elders, um, and she wants to get the word out. But this is a time, and this is a time when elders need us the most. They need the support, but there's resistance to getting the word out, and she felt that resistance, and I understand that. um, we don't want to come across, small businesses don't want to come across as taking advantage of the COVID-19 situation. And so we talked about this resistance, but the truth is we're doing a disservice to our clients and the public if we're not providing the services that we do, if we have a service or product that's needed. And no one expects Save On to give away free groceries and to stop promoting their offers. It's just, they don't expect it. um, I was asked whether I was going to offer a program for free to help others start their businesses. And I thought about that, and I have to say, after 2 years of hard work and development to put our self-employment training program online, last year we beta tested the program, and there was a group I gave the program free to give it a shot, and there's others that paid to get in the program, and the ones that received it for free, they did nothing with it. Whereas the ones that beta tested it for us, that did pay for it, they were fantastic about providing feedback and help to, further along the development of the program. So I'm delighted that we have this to offer, and I'm glad we were able to launch it before all of this even happened. There's people out there now asking where there may be resources to learn the steps to start a business. So I'm happy to be able to offer that. But when anyone questions a small business about their motives or asks whether, they'll give it away in light of what's going on, I have to turn that around and ask, is that not taking advantage of a small business in light of the global situation? I think so. I don't know what you think about that, but anyway, I also have a message for small business owners, and that message is, the big question in everybody's mind is, what do we do? What can we do? What do we do next? But the fact is, some small businesses will survive and some won't. And really, it's a time where we have to adapt. And I don't know if you've ever heard a business owner saying to you, I've been doing it for 15 years this way and it's worked. I'm not changing. And that's outside and regardless of what their customers are asking for. So if customers want a certain way, want something a certain way, and we don't adapt to fill that need, guess what happens next? Somebody else will step in to fill that need, because that's the way it works. This is dinosaur thinking, to think that we have to stay the way we are. We can't. We cannot. My grandfather was very much a dinosaur, and he owned a print shop that supplied printing to other print shops. This was back in 1980s. And so he did things that regular printers couldn't do. So he supplied them with services. At that time, it was 1988, and at that time, personal computers were really starting to come on being available, and that's when I bought my first computer for $15,000. And my grandpa, he was angry, and he was angry that things were changing and things were going digital, and it should never be like that. And he refused to get with the times. His customers were asking for things to be different, but no, he's done it this way for umpteen years. And so he ended up selling his business for pennies on the dollar. And that's really sad. When our ego gets bigger than our business, we have a problem. When our ego gets in the way, the real problem is actually we don't see that there's a problem. And I see that around me. So let's take a look at a few dinosaurs in the marketplace. The first one, everybody knows about blockbusters, they were sleeping, or their shareholders stood firm like my grandfather did. They're not changing a thing. It's been like this for years, and this is the way we're going to do it. And now they're gone. You may remember Target, and they didn't last very long in Canada. Why? First of all, they didn't listen to the Canadian consumers. They didn't ask us what we wanted. We didn't want what they were offering. So they didn't last long at all. Sears, Zellers, gone. Eaton's, gone. Remember when my daughter was 5, she asked me, why is it called Eaton's if it's not a restaurant? I always thought that was kind of funny. I thought about Sears and wondered, if they had done things differently and looked at their business model and asked their customers what their customers really wanted, would it have turned out differently for them rather than sticking to the status quo? Status quo will kill a business over time. But then I got this idea. I took a look around, and ATB, Alberta Treasury Branch, is a great bank. They're a forward-thinking bank. They support entrepreneurs. I moved my business accounts to them primarily because they opened up the ATB Entrepreneur Center in Edmonton. And it's like, yay, a business that speaks my language. What they've done, they've set up satellite branches around the city, and they're operated by entrepreneurs. Now, I don't know what their business model or their business plan's all about, but I like what they did in the community and setting up satellite locations. They're like mini banks, and they're owned and operated by entrepreneurs. I think it's brilliant. So if we took that business model and applied it to Sears, for example, and the shopping habits of young women. So I happen to know that young women shop online. We all know that. But what's interesting is they'll shop online, they'll check out a store, and then they'll go into the store to try it on if they like it, and then they'll go back home and they'll buy it online because the price is better. Interesting. So if Sears had taken a look at the buying habits of young people, and what if they took the ATB model and tested a few boutique stores around town, maybe they could operate them by independent clothing stylists. I happen to know a couple of them, and really providing a personal touch and catering to the young women who are shopping online. Small business survival depends on our ability to adapt to our environment. For some small businesses providing personal services, this is a really challenging time. I have a friend who suspended all services in her spa salon until further notice. So what can they do? What can any of us really do in this environment? One thing I think is staying top of mind with your customers and getting really creative. If you had to close your doors, reach out to your customers, refresh the relationship you have with them, ask them, what would you love to see in my business when we all get back to business? What would you love? Because guess what? Customers are the engines in our business. They're the ones that define where we're going if we ask them. We need to stay top of mind. Step out of your comfort zone and do what I'm doing. Do a video, do a Facebook Live. The Facebook Live thing is really pushing hard at my comfort zone, but that's good for me. And what else can you do? Reach out to other business owners, find out what they're doing just to weather this storm. What are they doing? In my case, I have overhead, but nothing like other small businesses. Half of our business is already online. So with the self-employment training, which is great, but what do? We have to pivot. As small business owners, we have to pivot. Like everyone else, every event I was in to speak at in the next couple of months, they've all been canceled. So what am I doing instead? I want to listen to what people want to learn, and we'll all figure it out. We have to be flexible, but we have to pivot. Every small business has an opportunity right now to take a look at their business from another perspective. If you're thinking about putting your business online, maybe now is the perfect time. If you offer personal services, and say you're a massage therapist, what can you do? You can't touch people, so what can you do? Consider this. When this is all over, and eventually it will be, where will your clients go if they haven't heard from you? You risk losing them to a massage therapist that started an online course, or on how to stretch in the morning, how to meditate or reduce stress, or what kind of essential oils work best for colds and flus, anything like that. It's about being top of mind. Imagine what life would be like if dinosaurs had adapted. My grandson would have his T-Rex in his backyard. That's a scary thought. If we don't adapt in our businesses won't survive. It's that simple. We have to get creative. Go online to see what others are doing in your industry. You have to revamp your plan. Take a course. Learn something new. Really, we are building a bridge as we walk on it here. That's what we're doing. Change is scary. When we don't know what step to take, it's scary, but you have to avoid the cynics who are saying it's the end of small businesses and we're all going to starve. And I actually heard a small business owner say that, and I'm sorry, she probably won't survive. As business owners, we need to be change leaders, and we have to embrace change and do things differently. I have a quote from Oscar Wilde, and he says, "What is a cynic? A person who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing." In other words, a person who thinks they know everything but can't see past their own opinion to explore the truth. So that's it for now. That's it for me. And I wish you a very intentional day.